Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you for tuning in and checking out the video. In this video, we're going to be talking about the upcoming fight between Wladimir Klitschko versus Tyson Fury. Awesome competitive matchup, and I cannot wait for Saturday for this to go down. Now, let's talk about Wladimir Klitschko first and what he brings to the table in this fight. Wladimir Klitschko, he's been champion for quite a few years, and when you look at him as a fighter, he's a guy who really makes you fight at his pace. He's similar to Bernard Hopkins in that way. He really has that style where he likes to throw the 1-2. He also occasionally uses that left hook, which he has very good power in. And Klitschko can punch as well, and he's a very big guy. And he likes to hold and wear on his opponents. So he's definitely a very tough guy to fight, and he's a very defensively responsible fighter who also has a very good boxing IQ. He was also trained in the past by the late great Emmanuel Stewart, so this is a guy who definitely knows the fine art of boxing. And when you look at him as a fighter, he's just really disposed of a lot of the heavyweight competition in recent years. You can talk about the heavyweight division, but Klitschko can only fight the guys who are available, and in my opinion, he is a little underrated in his all-time heavyweight ranking, in my opinion, just because of his lack of competition, really. Now, when you talk about Tyson Fury and what he brings to the table in this fight, here's a guy who, in my opinion, North America, everybody thinks this guy sucks, which is absolutely couldn't be further from the truth, in my opinion. When I look at a guy like Tyson Fury, he has a very good jab like Wladimir Klitschko. He understands range like Klitschko. He's also a guy who I love his punch output, his activity level, and also I love the way he mixes it up from the head to the body, uses uppercuts, can switch stances, and has an underrated inside game. And he moves very well, especially for a very large man. People have to keep in mind in this fight, Tyson Fury is actually bigger than Wladimir Klitschko and holds a reach advantage in this fight. Now, in this matchup, I would have to give the advantage to Klitschko in terms of his vast experience fighting the upper echelon competition. Also, I believe that Klitschko has the better power of the two. Also, he possesses the better jab and right hand if you're going to compare those two weapons that both of these fighters have. But where Tyson Fury, in my opinion, has advantage in this fight, he's a guy who has that high level activity. He's also much more unpredictable than Wladimir Klitschko is. And in my opinion, his inside game is also better than Klitschko's when you look at the two of these fighters. And I think a key thing that Tyson Fury needs to do in this fight is he needs to be extremely active in this matchup. He needs to make Klitschko very uncomfortable. And even maybe switching stances would be a good idea for this fight. Just give some different looks to Klitschko. Klitschko is very experienced also. But I just think those are some things that Tyson Fury needs to do, in my opinion, to win this fight. And Fury has some pretty good movement as well. So if he can use that, and I really believe that Fury is going to give Klitschko a ton of problems in this fight. Also, with a guy, like I said, Fury understands the range. He has a good jab. So with that reach advantage, if he can start using that to his advantage in this fight, it's going to be tough for Klitschko. But ultimately, guys, I'm going with Klitschko for a number of reasons. The first, my reasoning for going for Klitschko is just him fighting at that top level against the best competition. You could talk about some of the guys Fury fought. Fury has not fought anybody in the same realm as the competition that Klitschko has faced. Also, the power advantage I think will be key in this fight. Fury has gone down in the past, although Klitschko doesn't have the best chin as well either. But I also believe the biggest key to this fight as well is this fight is taking place in Germany. And you see how hard it is to win a fight over in Germany, especially if you're fighting the guy who's the money fighter, which is Wladimir Klitschko is in this fight. Extremely hard to win on the cards. And that's what I feel Tyson Fury would have to do to win this fight. But ultimately, guys, another key thing to look out in this fight is the holding of Wladimir Klitschko. Will the referee allow it? And it's going to be extremely hard for him to do so against Tyson Fury because Fury is such a big guy, physically bigger. So he's definitely not going to be pushed around and intimidated like a lot of these other guys have been when they have fought Wladimir Klitschko. Great job as well to Tyson Fury in selling this fight. Ultimately, guys, I go by Wladimir Klitschko. A close decision, in my opinion, but the scorecards are going to be a lot wider than the fight actually is. So my opinion, Klitschko wins a unanimous decision, but there's going to be some debate on the scores. And I think Fury gives him a very, very tough fight. And I'm just leaning slightly towards Wladmir Klitschko. I think Tyson Fury is highly underrated. Good boxing IQ. Peter Fury, excellent trainer. Um, yeah, so that's my opinion on this fight, guys. Let me know what you guys think on this matchup and who you think wins the fight and how they win the fight. Thanks a lot, guys, for tuning in.